that most people are not doing in their business, and they should. It's something that's going to really propel you forward, and trust me, you're not doing it as soon as you should be doing. So let's have this conversation. Let's go. Hello, it is me, Karina. Welcome back to my Amazon FBA channel with daily uploads every single day. So today's topic is going to be, how do you really take your business to the next level with this one simple thing that most people are underutilizing, and that is getting help and hiring virtual assistants to help you move forward in your life and your business, which are typically merged for us entrepreneurs, as I'm sure you know. But anyways, so a lot of people really delay this step, and I delayed this step. I delayed this step for far too long, until it came to a point where I felt that I was in frustration, that I had too much on my plate, that I kept repeatedly doing the same tasks over and over and over and over again, tasks that I should not be doing because they were just cluttering my mind, and actually in many aspects of my businesses. Let's start with Amazon FBA, right? So a lot of people, they don't want to spend the money to get help. That's probably the number one thing for most people, is that they think that it's going to be, you know, cutting away from the profits that they're making. And yeah, that is true. It's going to be taking away from your profits, especially if you are first starting out and you're not making that much and you really want to keep it all to yourself or invest it in a product or whatever else. You don't see that paying another person is a good idea, especially when you literally have the mentality of, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna do it myself, which is what I had in mind. And to me personally, payment wasn't even the issue. I wasn't thinking, oh, it's going to take away from my profits. My number one concern was that, oh no, I have to train these people, and that's going to take a lot of time, and I have no idea how to train them well, because I remember thinking back of all the things that I learned and how long it took me to learn all of that. And then I thought, oh boy, if I had to train these people, it's going to take so many hours, and I have to make sure that they know what they're doing, and it's just going to be so long, so I might as well just do it myself. But that's really the wrong mentality. Both of those are wrong if you are thinking about saving money by not hiring someone, or if you think that training them, you're going to save time. You're not saving money and you're not saving time by getting help. Trust me, and let me explain to you why. So for the longest time, I would say, you know, I'm just gonna do it myself because I don't want to train anybody. And you can go about this in two different approaches, right? You can hire somebody that is quite more expensive, if in the Amazon FBA industry, that have more experience, right, that charge more per hour, so you can train them less and you can kind of fill in the gaps. However, they don't fully always know exactly what you want, so there's always going to be some type of training involved. Or you can hire somebody for a smaller rate. However, you're going to be putting a lot of effort into educating them and really getting them on board with what you are doing. So there's kind of like the pros and cons to both of those. It's whatever kind of you decide and whatever catering you need to your business. But I just wanted to do things myself for the longest time because I could. I thought that I could run a business by myself, and I was doing quite well at it. You know, until, like I mentioned, I got to the point where I just felt overwhelmed, and where I would be having to do tasks that I don't necessarily see myself doing, such as, like, you know, customer service or sending refunds, just simple things like that. Even product research, you can outsource so many different things. You just have to make sure that you do it carefully and that you delegate and oversee it, because if you just let someone else take full control, it's not going to end well. So whatever tasks you outsource and you hire for, you just have to make sure the training is done correctly and that you are overseeing it and having kind of like weekly meeting calls, which is what I do, and then just making sure that everything is in check. However, your life will become much easier. You can even outsource communication with suppliers, right? You can provide them with templates if you have templates. Like, I have an Amazon FBA course, and to all my students, if you're in the course, you already know you have all my templates of how I negotiate with suppliers to get the best prices, the lowest MOQs, the faster lead time, the best quality. So you can just send those off to your VAs and then kind of train them on what to say and fill in the gaps, and it becomes really easy that way. And then you can just monitor, so you're not staying up till like 2 or 3 or 4 a.m. talking to suppliers. You can wake up and you can have your VA put a list of all the suppliers with all the answers, with all the quotes, and just have them carry on the conversation, because I'm going to tell you where to get the VAs in a second, and you will know that they're on the same time zone. So it's very easy for them to communicate back and forth, and not being sleep deprived when doing it. Obviously, when you're first starting out, you have to learn how to do it yourself. You have to know to make sure you're doing it correctly, and then you can kind of outsource that and then just have the end decision. And the training aspect does not take that long. So people think, well, I thought that it would take a long time and I would feel overwhelmed and I don't know where to start. But when you actually begin and you train them, then you actually notice that it is a lot of help, because you train them once and then you make small modifications throughout the weeks until they know what you are looking for, they know what you want, and then you just have to kind of check those things off throughout the week and have meetings with them, and everything else you can focus your energy on actually doing tasks that only you can do. For example, whether it's validating a product market, or finding out the competition within a market and studying which products you need to launch next, certain things like that, which require a lot of skill. And if you don't have the motivation there, for example, you're doing it to progress your business, maybe a VA doesn't see that vision as you have it. They have a different mindset and different goals of what they want, right? They're not as concerned as you are, because this is your business and that's how it should be. You are the business owner of your business. You should care about it more than anybody else. So you really know exactly what to look for. Plus, if you have taken an Amazon course or, watched hours and hours of content, by default, you already know more than them. So you kind of know the nuances to look for. So you don't want to outsource immediately all the difficult tasks that need you. But when you outsource those things, you have more time to do those other tasks, right? So that's very, very helpful. You can outsource graphics and things like that. I know when you first start out, you typically use Fiverr to do your graphics designs, but when you are launching consistently more products and you need more packaging design or product images, or you're constantly split testing, which is what I'm doing, I always need a graphic designer that knows my vision, is a creative person, so they know how to put things together to make them look visually pleasing and just really nice, and to kind of, understand what Amazon wants as well. So what you want to do is explain to them like what the vision of Amazon is and what the requirements are and kind of the direction you are going, and over time you can tweak those things and modify it. So whenever you need some type of modification, there's someone that's always on call that sees your vision, knows what the deal is, knows what the requirements are, and can help you. You don't have to wait like 4 days on Fiverr, and then they don't really care about your work as much, because it's just on a per gig pay basis, which is fine when you're starting out. But at the same time, like I said, if you need someone on call all the time, it's very helpful to have someone that just kind of knows exactly what the requirements are, and that they are tested, you have seen their work, they have done things for you, you know how well it works. And when you have that, it's very, very helpful, because I remember in the beginning of my journey, I would constantly be looking for several people to do my packaging design, to do my graphics, and I would have to test many people. And then you find one good one on Fiverr, but they don't want to like work full-time for you. They have other customers, they're always busy, you're never their number one priority, and maybe they go on vacation or they leave somewhere and I don't even know what happens, and then you need a package design. What are you gonna do? Then you're basically on a search for someone else, and I would have to literally order like from 3 different people, and then sometimes none of them would work well, right? Or if you need some simple Photoshop tasks, you don't want to always be looking for a new person. Of course, this is later down the road when you are scaling more, but it does make your life easier. And as far as like the cost and everything, it's not going to break your bank. The amount of time you are saving for yourself and the amount of like income producing things that you could do that only you can do, trust me, it's just going to give you a very, very high ROI on the money that you put in. So where do you find virtual assistants, right? A virtual assistant can be anywhere because they are virtual, so it can essentially be all over the world. It can be in the US, it could be anywhere. So there are certain countries that it's a very big situation to have virtual assistants, and Philippines is one of them. And I love hiring people from the Philippines. They speak amazing English. They're very, very skilled, very talented people, and very, very easy to work with, and there are a lot of good options on there. So I like to use the site onlinejobs.ph, which is amazing. It's a monthly fee of $60, I believe, and you pay per month. You can put up the ads for whatever task you need, and they apply. And then what I like to do is screen them. So I look through their applications, I ask them a few questions via the chat portal, and then I set up like a Zoom interview call, like face-to-face, so I can see who they are, what the deal is, just kind of ask some personal questions and what the job looks like, what the expectations are, what the skills required are, and then you kind of like filter it down from there. And there are a lot of high quality people on there that are willing to work either part-time or full-time, or on an on-call basis, whatever requirements you have. But it is very, very easy to find them. I know that many people might not have the resource and they don't know where to look. Of course, there are other countries, but personally, I have had experience with the Philippines, and they're on the same time zone as China, so it's very, very helpful as well when it comes to communicating. And the other thing I really like about building a team of virtual assistants too is that you are on different time zones. Yes, you do have overlap, but it makes for a very, very productive work environment, because if you are on the same time zone as someone, you can always be messaging back, and then that way you kind of stop productivity, because any question you have can, you know, lose focus from your end and you lose focus on their end. But if they are on different time zones, they can reach out to you and then probably figure it out by the time you got back to them, and then you just wake up and you can review all their work, you can bulk submit the changes, send it to them, and when they wake up, they just work on it. And it's very, very efficient, effective, and has saved me a lot of time, which essentially made me focus on more income producing tasks, which essentially makes me more money that I can invest back into my business, invest into growing my team. And that's just basically how you scale. If you come from the mentality of I'm just gonna do this alone forever, it's not gonna work. You have to kind of become comfortable with letting go of some of the power. I know it's hard for some people, especially entrepreneurs, that think that they need to have everything figured out and have everything like to themselves, but you're actually slowing yourself down by doing that. And that's something that I didn't fully know, and now I do. I hope that this was helpful to you. All the links that I have are down below, and I will see you all in my next video.